Live to the Walt Price Student Fitness Center, Everett Community College. Tom Lafferty with Bill Kusler. This is game number 9 of the Northwest District 4A Boys Basketball Tournament. Loser out, last chance going to the state tournament. The Jackson Timberwolves at 16-8, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies at 19-3. Today's game is brought to you in part by Vanderyacht Propane, the Snohomish County PUD, Glass by Lund, Allstate Insurance Agent Brian Reed, the Law Office of Russell and Hill, the Buzz-In Steakhouse by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Major League Pizza, and the Snohomish County DUI Task Force. Jackson at 16-8, Glacier Peak at 19-3, their fourth meeting. And we take a look at the starting lineups for the Jackson Timberwolves. Kevin Hahn, a 5'10 junior. Christian Liddell, a 6'1 junior. Ben Olson, a 5'11 junior. Also Kyle Bigovich, a 6'6 junior. Joe Capone, a 6'4 junior. So all juniors in the lineup for the Jackson Timberwolves as they take on the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Their head coach, Brian Hunter. Glacier Peak, Trey Lawrence, a 6'5 senior. Fletcher Douglas, a 6'4 junior. Braden Corwin, a 5'10 sophomore. Noah Foreman, a 6'4 junior. And Bobby Martin, a 6'3 senior for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Glacier Peak, as we mentioned, 19-3, and Jackson at 16-8. Geographically, two of the closest schools in the Western Conference, and they're ready to go, and the last chance heading to the state tournament. And Bill, we talked the other night, actually throughout the district tournament, both in 3A, 4A, girls, boys, it doesn't matter. And in fact, we talked to 8 coaches the other night in the Prep Sports Weekly, and one of the coaches, honestly can't remember which one I asked, how much, it may have been Corey Gibb, how much does the amplitude, how much do you turn it up when you get into the state tournament or into the district tournament playoffs? He goes, a lot.
Yeah, it's a totally a different ball game, and it's exciting. You get into a venue like this, a beautiful gym here at Everett Community College, and just even though it's just totally different from getting there in the regular season, this is a great matchup because these are two programs that have had tremendous success for a long time, and they're just down the road from one another, and it just makes for great action. And Jackson here was something to prove, going down to Glacier Peak a couple of times at Glacier Peak, wanting to avenge what some people thought was kind of a minor upset when they lost to Kamiak the other night. You know, Kamiak really showed so much improvement over the latter parts of the season to get that #1 berth and win the district tournament. So this should be a great matchup here.
And we will take a timeout and come back with tonight's opening tip-off and game action. Jackson and Glacier Peak on Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife, Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens. We are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
We are ready to go here at Everett Community College, game 2 of our doubleheader. It's Jackson and Glacier Peak. The officials, Mike Zender, Todd Howell, and Shane Day. Shane Day has the basketball, which must indicate he is the referee. He is, and he will throw the ball up, and we will be ready to go. Jackson, Kevin Hahn, Christian Liddell, Ben Olson, Kyle Bigovich, and Joe Capone. Glacier Peak, Trey Lawrence, Fletcher Douglas, Braden Corwin, Noah Foreman, and Bobby Martin. Didn't we just do this team?
Seems like about deja vu from a week ago, although Bigovich now sporting the new hairstyle with the man bun.
The man bun on top for Bigovic. So here we go. He's in the center along with Trey Lawrence. The ball's in the air, and we are underway. Glacier Peak, the home team, in white. They'll be moving to our left. The visiting team is Jackson. They're in the black uniforms, green numbers, white trim. Moving to our right, they have the basketball. They have a turnaround jumper and a bucket by Joe Capone, and the first 2 points of the ball game in the column for the Jackson Timberwolves.
And trying to get it down underneath. Capone, just a nice little soft shot over to the right-hand side, gives them the early lead.
Glacier Peak now with the basketball. Bobby Martin at the left wing as they swing it around the perimeter. Corwin shoots a three and hits it from way outside from about NBA three range. And it's Glacier Peak with the lead here, up by 1.
Wow, if Corwin is hot from the outside, that is going to really help loosen things up on the inside for Glacier Peak's bigs.
Capone with it now to Ben Olsen, smallest guy on the floor. And Olsen, a little fadeaway jumper up and good for Jackson. And they retake the lead at 4-3. I knew I'd get it eventually. 4-3 the score. Quickly up the floor comes Glacier Peak in their white jerseys with blue and silver trim. Moving to our left is Corwin, shoots another one. This one will come up short, no good. Rebound, Bigovic. Outlet pass, Hahn. Here comes Jackson out of backcourt. Hahn stops at the top of the key as they swing it over to the left-hand side. Capone now to Hahn again. Measured for a three, didn't take it. Lawrence came out on him. Now they go down low. Turnaround, fadeaway, jumper won't go for Capone. A miss. Rebound controlled by Martin. Up the floor they go, laying up, and it is good for Trey Lawrence. And it's a 5-4 lead for Glacier Peak.
Lawrence has 7 inches on Hahn as he just went right over him.
Going down low, a little reverse lay-in, saved from going out of bounds, and the reverse lay-in is up and good for Joe Capone. It's a 6-5 lead. That's our 4th lead change so far here in the early going. Glacier Peak and Jackson.
Capone, I'd rather be lucky than good. The ball just sort of dribbled and fell to his feet for the lay-in.
Trey Lawrence left side. They're leaving him open for a three, but he won't take it. Dribbles in closer, in fact, and he's going to be fouled by his numerical counterpart on the other side. It'll be Christian Liddell picks up the foul. His first personal foul, his first team foul. And they're going to say he was shooting, so that will put Trey Lawrence at the free throw line.
Jackson does not want Christian Liddell to get into foul trouble. He is their leading scorer.
Liddell at nearly 16 points per ball game. First free throw, no good for Lawrence. He'll get another. Lawrence, a miracle of modern medicine that he's even playing basketball still. After a severe accident a couple of years ago playing AAU basketball. Head injury. Next free throw, no good. Missed them both. 6-5 lead for Jackson. They avert trouble there, and Jackson has it. In front court in their black uniforms, moving to our right. Bigovic with it. Swing it to Hahn, now to Olsen. Olsen looking for Bigovic again. He's get it. Couple of dribbles there, trying to penetrate this defense. Can't do it. Hahn has it, travels. He kind of flips the ball over his head because he knew he did. He commits the turnover. Side out of bounds for Glacier Peak, right in front of their own bench. We're 2 stories above the floor. Across the way from the benches, Glacier Peak to our right and Jackson to our left. Glacier Peak moving to our left on the floor in their white uniforms. Bobby Martin has it, top of the key, dribbles in, and they're going to call him for travel. Almost could have called him for an offensive foul, so they got him for travel. He says, you know what, I'll take the turnover.
Yeah, nice play by Kevin Hahn, defensively staying right in front of him.
6-5 lead for Jackson, early going, loser out ball game. Kamiak has already punched their ticket to the regional tournament by virtue of their win over Glacier Peak on Thursday night in the district championship game. Kevin Hahn, top of the key for Jackson. Nobody's going to cover him. He says, hello, 3 ball. Kevin Hahn buries it for Jackson. They open up a 4-point lead.
Yeah, Lawrence just kind of backed off of him for a moment, and if Hahn hits that 3 ball, he's going to force the Glacier Peak defense out.
Here's Lawrence going in around the defender, comes up short with it, no good. Tapped out to Olsen, up the floor it goes. Going in, Bigovic laying up too hard, no good. Hahn touched it last, it went out of bounds. It'll be given right back over to Glacier Peak.
That was a great opportunity for Jackson to put some space in between, just could not quite get that one to go.
Jackson with a 9-5 lead over Glacier. And now the Grizzlies with the basketball, moving to our left. Bobby Martin, Corwin measures for a 3, offline right measurement, but it wouldn't go, but they get their own rebound. Corwin will reload, refire, same result, won't go. Rebound grab down by Bigovich. Outlet pass to Hahn. Brings it up. Little stutter step move. With him stride for stride was Bobby Martin. Out it goes for a shot. Top of the key. Bigovich won't go. Rebound controlled by Trey Lawrence. Here comes Glacier Peak. Jackson quickly back defensively. And Trey Lawrence says, too many black shirts. I'm going to reset the offense here. Fletcher Douglas. Now to Corwin as they work it over the left-hand side. That's Lawrence open for a little soft 12-footer that rattles out no good. Back up and in. Rebound and bucket by Noah Foreman, and it's 9-7 Jackson by 2. 3:40 to play. Quickly played first quarter of action here at Everett Community College on a Saturday afternoon.
Every team needs a Noah Foreman, the one that just picks up the offensive rebounds, gets some putbacks.
That was we used to call those the Bill Kusler. Going in, a little bucket that won't go. Bigovich, soft little lay-in, would not fall. And Glacier Peak brings it down, a chance to tie. A 3-ball gives them the lead. Bobby Martin has it. Cross court near side Lawrence in the corner to Corwin. Corwin will shoot the 3. The first one went, the last 4 haven't. And the rebound controlled by Jackson. Capone grabbed the rebound to Hahn. Now down low to Bigovich. Turns, face, fire from the low block over the top of Noah Foreman. It's good, and the lead is back out to 4 points. Jackson equals their biggest lead of this ball game. 2:48 to play, first quarter. Bobby Martin, right side, hand check foul is going to be called.
That's a tough matchup. Martin going up against Hahn. Martin's got about 5 inches on him. Hahn is very quick, but we'll see how that all plays out. I know that Jackson wants Hahn to be out on him because he's such a good 3-point shooter.
Evan Mattis checks in for Glacier Peak, and Fletcher Douglas will check out. Bobby Martin will check in with a 3-ball from the right corner, buries it, and it's 11-10 Jackson by 1 with a Martin 3-ball. Joe Capone now to Olsen, shoots a 3, got hammered as he let go of it, but Hahn grabs the rebound. Back up one more time on the outlet, it went out top of the key to Bigovich, whistle. Bigovich missed about the 18-footer, maybe a 16-footer, but a foul is going to be called off the rebound. And it's going to be on Kevin Hahn picks up the foul, his second personal foul. So Hahn has to go to the bench with 2 personals.
He blocked out Lawrence, and Lawrence was flying on his back across the floor.
Just a little. Jesse Hoiby checks in, the 6-foot sophomore comes in his place. And I think he's going to commit the foul right away. So, yes, it will be on Hoiby.
Little hand check.
First personal foul, 4th team foul. Sideline out of bounds for Bobby Martin. That's Trey Lawrence working right side. Now they work the perimeter left side to Corwin. Now Bobby Martin. Martin dribble drive to the baseline. Tries to split 2 defenders. He does and lays it up and in. And Glacier Peak has retaken the lead in the ball game. Our 5th lead change of the game. It's Glacier Peak 12, Jackson 11.
It's going to be a really big challenge. Jackson trying to find somebody that can take Martin on one-on-one.
Hoiby lost the handle on it, saved him from going out of bounds, and right in the hands of Braden Corwin. Problem is he plays for the wrong team, and then Hoiby comes through and taps it away. Ball went out of bounds, and Glacier Peak will get the re-steal back the other way.
Hoiby's got really quick hands and got in front of that ball and just slightly swiped it.
And Bill, I know you're jealous of Hoiby, Jesse Hoiby.
Yeah, he's got beautiful hair.
Long.
Some of us don't anymore.
Long hair for Hoiby. Olsen, 3, no. Who's got it? Hoiby battling for the rebound, carried it out of bounds. So give it over to Glacier Peak. Minute 26 to play in the first quarter. End-to-end action here between Jackson and Glacier Peak. Grizzlies with a 1-point lead. 5 lead changes.
Glacier Peak on a 7-2 run.
Evan Mattis. Corwin has it, top of the key. Then a foul's called. Lawrence is on the ground. Liddell is helping him up. And Mike Zender, I almost said Mark Zender, head baseball coach at O'Day, with the deepest voice ever, his cousin.
And Liddell picks up his second personal foul. And I said a little earlier that Jackson cannot afford to have him in foul trouble, and that's where we are at this point.
Jackson has 5 team fouls, Glacier Peak 0. team fouls so far. Bobby Martin has a 2-ball, though, up and good. Underneath, got a little pass there from Lawrence for the lay-in good, and it's a 3-point lead for Glacier Peak. That's their biggest lead of the ball game.
Martin 3 for 3 from the field, 7 points to lead all scorers.
Ben Olson, and a foul called. I think they're going to get Trey Lawrence. It will be. Trey Lawrence away from the basketball. He just kind of shook his head and kind of bowed his head a little bit and said, yeah, I know. He did. And that's going to be the first team foul against Jackson. Inbounds here, baseline, with 1 minute to play in the first quarter. Ben Olson dribbles around the defender, puts it up with the right hand, kind of a double pump that wouldn't go. Hoiby grabs the rebound. It's closed off there, and then he finds a crease and goes around Corwin and puts it up and in from 6 feet away. And it's a 1-point ball game. Glacier Peak 14, Jackson 13. 30 to shoot, 33 on the first quarter clock. Braden Corwin between the circles. To Martin, to Lawrence. Lawrence looked, 19 to shoot. They're yelling, shoot, 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 and he's not going to. Trey Lawrence will back up and call the play with 12 seconds to shoot. That's the top of the key to Manis to 8 seconds. Now down to 5 as Martin puts it up too hard. Bailed out by the foul. A couple of shots coming up here for Bobby Martin of Glacier Peak. The foul's going to be called on Paul Doney of the Timberwolves, his first personal foul. 6th team foul. And a couple of foul shots here for Bobby Martin. First one is airborne and good. Makes it 15-13. Jackson Glacier Peak by 2. They've led by 3. Jackson's led by 4. We've had 5 lead changes here in the opening quarter. Next free throw good. 3-point lead. Olson quickly up the floor. Down to 5, down to 4. Hoiby closed off baseline. And they're going to call a foul on Bobby Martin. Martin whistled for the foul, his first personal foul, 2nd team foul. 4.3 to go. Baseline out of bounds for Jackson. Olson will do the honors. Throws it in as they work it over. Top of the key, Searles shoots and hits at the horn. That's a 2-ball just inside the top of the key, so it's 2 and it makes it a 1-point ball game. End of the first quarter, our score. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies 16, the Jackson Timberwolves 15. This is Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Galore here at Everett Community College. Ray Allen is here, Tracy McGrady, Bill, the Greek Freak, Carmelo Anthony, they're all here.
At least their jerseys are.
Their jerseys are in attendance. We're going to have a foul called here. We're just underway, second quarter. Offensive foul is going to be called, and it's going to be whistled on Evan Manis, his first personal foul, and the 3rd team foul.
Well, the stats are as even as the game. Both teams 7 rebounds, both teams 4 assists, both teams 2 turnovers. So that's amazing. 7 for 15 were Jackson, 46% from the field. Glacier Peak 6 of 12, 50%.
So here is Jackson with the basketball. 16-15 Glacier Peak. with the lead. Jackson with the ball. Searles has it. Splits 2 defenders. Puts it up. No good. Who gets the rebound? It's going to be grabbed by Trey Lawrence of Glacier Peak. Grizzlies with the lead. And the Rock moving to our left. They're in their home white uniforms trimmed in blue and silver. As Trey Lawrence likes to kind of stop things on top of the key. Says, here's the play. And then they start. Corwin has it. 17 to shoot. They swing it over the left-hand side to Bo Burns, and then down low they go for the bucket. Up, and it is good for Trey Lawrence. And it's 18-15. Glacier Peak Eagles their biggest lead of this ball game. Pass down low to Searles, who fades away, puts it up, won't go. Jalen Searles with the miss. Rebound controlled by Glacier Peak.
Previous play, they wanted to do the little alley-oop. Trey Lawrence couldn't get it on the one side, so he just took the one dribble and reversed it and got the lane from the other side.
Bo Burns has it at the left wing. Go deeper in the corner to Braden Corwin. Puts up about a 16-footer from the left baseline that won't go. Rebound Searles for Jackson. Center step moves, meets 5, or at least 3 white shirts from Glacier Peak, and then the shot won't go. It's going to be a miss by Hendrickson, and the rebound controlled by Glacier Peak. Grizzlies with the lead. They have the basketball. Evan Mattis has it on top of the key. Starts the dribble, goes once. They'll swing it back out, work the perimeter, 21 to shoot. Trey Lawrence to Mattis. Mattis out on top of the key. Now to Bo Burns. Burns looking for a screen. 12 to shoot. That's Lawrence out, calling the play out by the center line. Down to 6 to shoot. Mattis has it. 3 to shoot. Corwin will hit the 3 ball.
Corwin hit his first. He missed his next 4, but not afraid to put the ball up there and cans that 3-pointer.
And we're going to have a timeout called by Jackson. We'll step aside with 5 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first half. Our score, Glacier Peak 21, Jackson 15. Fox Sports 1380, FM 95.3.
All frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi ductless heat pumps allow you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. Because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
With their win on Thursday night over Glacier Peak in the district championship game. Who will join them of the 2 coming out of this district is being decided this afternoon. Right now, Glacier Peak with a 21-15 lead over Jackson, and a shot here by the Timberwolves, a miss by Searles on a 3-ball attempt, and it's going to be controlled by the Grizzlies.
We see Kamiak's head coach Corey West across the way from us watching this ball game with his team already in the regional round.
Well, I bet you they love just coming and watching on Saturday, not having to worry.
Oh, yeah, but you bet they do.
Bo Burns misses a 3 in the right corner. It's going to be chased down by Olsen. Olsen out of backcourt. Feeds it. A little alley-oop attempt, no good, but Searles also got impeded on his way in by the defender.
I think he's lucky he got the foul because I don't think that ball was going down.
No, it was not. Olsen fed him, heading toward the rim, and then he kind of got pulled from behind. And so Jalen Searles at the free throw line. First one is good. The foul was called on Bo Burns. His first personal foul, 4th team foul. The lead is 5 for Glacier Peak.
Isaac Grayson comes into the ball game to replace Liddell.
Next one, good. 21-17, lead is 4 for the Grizzlies. They have the basketball. Corwin brings it across the timeline. Gives it to Martin, back to Corwin again. They'll set the offense. Mattis has it, top of the key. Looking, goes right. Martin shoots, misses the 3 from the right side, but it's going down to Mattis. Went through, 1 shot, 2 shot, won't go. Mattis missed. The follow-up attempt there by Foreman wouldn't go, and the rebound controlled by Jackson. To Olsen. Olsen to the baseline, going in, lay it up, no good by Bigovich. Back out it goes to Searles. They'll reset the offense. I thought it hit the rim, but they didn't reset the shot clock. 16 to shoot. Olsen off balance, falling down, puts up a shot, won't go. Rebound controlled by Foreman. And here come the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. So Kind of fancy looking on that end for Jackson. They came away with the 0. And now Glacier Peak will set it up. Noah Foreman, top of the key. To Manis at the left wing. Deeper in the corner they go. Jackson just working the perimeter here, trying to go down low to Martin. And it's going to be knocked away by Olsen. Grabbed by Searles, goes in. Offensive foul is going to be called. The charging foul is going to be called on Jalen Searles. A little bit out of control coming down the floor. He commits the offensive foul. And for Searles, that will be his first personal foul and the 7th team foul. Player control foul, offensive foul, so it'll be right back over to Glacier Peak, no shots.
Jackson been a little bit out of control the last couple of times down the floor. They've got to kind of settle down a little bit.
They've only scored 2 points here in this quarter. There's 3:16 to go in the half. Long outside three, bang. Corwin.
You tell shooters to keep shooting. That's what Corwin is doing, and he's hit his last 2.
Yeah, he hit the first one, missed 4, then hit his last 2. Olsen will try to answer on the other end with a 3 that won't go. Foreman grabs the rebound for the Grizzlies. Corwin brings it up. He'll call the play. 2:55 to play in the first half. 24-17. 7-point lead for Glacier Peak, their biggest lead of the ball game. Ball knocked out of bounds by Searles and into the hallway. And down by the restrooms and around the corner from the concession stand. And finally, Bo Burns will go retrieve it from out in the hall. And Bobby Martin will throw it in corner out of bounds. Trey Lawrence will return. Bo Burns will exit for Glacier Peak. Martin will throw it in baseline. 20 to shoot. Throw it in, and Noah Foreman. Martin threw it. Foreman tried to catch it. Tried was the operative word there because it kind of dribbled off his fingertips and out of bounds. And Jackson says, you know what, we'll take it any way we can get it. Ben Olsen, quarterback on the football team, quarterback on the basketball team. Working it, Bigovich and Capone. Capone had it, now it goes to Olsen. Olsen down and low it goes, laying up and good. Kyle Bigovich with the bucket is 24-19.
Ends a little bit of a drought for Jackson, but it was a really nice pass getting him in the ball close.
Corwin has it on the dribble, go to Manis. Manis right about the foul line, looking to pass it off. They kind of go through him, looking for someone to pass to. Almost knocked away, grabbed by Foreman. Bobby Martin will resettle things down with 10 seconds to shoot. Goes through, swatted out of bounds by Joe Capone. His second block of the basketball game. We're at minute 52 to play in the first half. 9 to shoot. Baseline inbounds for Glacier Peak. Lawrence open for a 3-ball. Down it goes off the inbounds, and it's 27-19, 8-point lead. Olsen, as they work the baseline here, in the corner it goes to Liddell. Now down low, turn, face, fire off the front of the iron by Bigovich, no good. Martin grabs the rebound, feed it to Lawrence, going in, left side, foul call. Missed the lay-in, and then hit the end boards of the gym, and there's a lot of baseline room here too, so he kind of went flying, and Trey Lawrence goes to the free throw line. The lead is 8 points for Glacier Peak.
Nice aggressive move to the hole by Trey Lawrence to draw the foul.
And the foul was called on Bigovich. First personal and the 8th team. First free throw is good. Kevin Hahn will check in for Jackson.
8 points so far for Trey Lawrence.
Fletcher Douglas back in now for Glacier Peak. First free throw good, second free throw is good, and that will give Glacier Peak their biggest lead of the game, up by 10, 29-19. Back to the basket is Capone. Instead of shooting, he fires a laser beam pass down to Hahn. He got fouled. I think Lawrence is going to be, it will be. Trey Lawrence picks up the foul. That'll be his second personal foul, 5th team foul, sixth team foul, excuse me.
Hahn receiving the ball down below at 5'10", had the 6'3" and 6'5" draped all over him, but drew the foul.
Looking for the inbounds. It's going to be stolen away. Up the floor they go. Bobby Martin goes in, laying up good. Just what body control to wait for those defenders to go by and just hesitate enough. Say, okay, you go by me and I'll just go and lay it in. He did. 31-19. Here's a steal. Stolen by Lawrence. Give it to Manis. Manis to Corwin. Shoots a long three ball that won't go. And, Olsen had it stolen away from him by Manis. Manis waits for the defense. Got it blocked by the shortest guy. Olsen blocked it. Hahn out of bounds. Brings it out of backcourt. Brings it. And he's going to have to try to pick up the spares because he knocked over 2 Grizzlies here coming down. And Hahn, and they're going to call the foul on. Who did they get it on? Braden Corwin picks up the foul. He was one of the bowling pins in that one. His first personal and the 6th team foul.
Glacier Peak 15-4 in this quarter, now 15-5 as Hahn makes the free throw. But that's what we talked about before the game started, that Jackson looks really good, but they have these little lulls where they don't sustain, and then Glacier Peak just put on a little 10-point run. And now Jackson is going to have to fight their way back now, trailing by 10.
At 40 seconds to go here in the first half and a 31-21 lead. Yeah, Glacier Peak just slowly but surely has built it to a 6-point lead, a 7-point lead, 8-point lead. Not just about every other time up the floor it gets a little bit more. Not out of reach yet. Half a minute to play in the first half. About a 4-second differential game clock and shot clock. Trey Lawrence on the dribble right wing. So they work it to Douglas, now to Martin. Martin has it, looking cross court. Slam dunk for Trey Lawrence. They kind of lulled him to sleep, and then you just kind of give the little eyebrow, and up he went for the slam dunk with 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and a foul call. Late foul in the half. It's going to be on Fletcher Douglas. Those are the plays you and Gillies used to run, right?
Not exactly, but that was a beautiful pass also for Bobby Martin. Laid it up across absolutely perfectly for the jam.
Foul is going to be called. Fletcher Douglas, his first personal foul. Free throw by Olsen won't go. Final seconds, it won't go. Length of the floor heave. And our score at the half. Glacier Peak has opened up the lead by a dozen, 33-21. Halftime show coming up here on Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3. and Glacier Peak girls will head down to the 4A, at least into the regional round, and that will happen tomorrow when they decide who everybody and where everybody plays next weekend in the regional round. They're playing basketball down at Jackson High School as well today, the 3A district. A game coming up here in about an hour for the loser out ball game for the boys 3A. Shorecrest and Arlington will play. And then tonight at 7 o'clock for the Northwest District Boys 3A Championship, Marysville-Pilchuck will take on Stanwood. On the girls' side, a little bit game that got underway here just a little while ago. We'll try to get an update on the score. Edmonds Woodway and Linwood are playing in a loser-all ball game. Winner, the number 3 team to the state. And then this afternoon, late this afternoon at 5 o'clock, the Shorecrest Scots, the Stanwood Spartans will play for the Northwest District 3A Girls Championship at Shorecrest and Stanwood again at 5 o'clock. We'll take a break, come back, take a look at the numbers from the first half. It's Glacier Peak 33, Jackson 21. This is Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Tip off. Our score at the half, Glacier Peak 33, Jackson 21. Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Okay.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Community College, 33-21, Glacier Peak at the half, leading Jackson. Our halftime show fueled by Vanderyacht Propane, providing quality services for commercial, industrial, and residential from Canada to I-90. Family owned and operated. Learn more at vanderyachtpropane.com. Today's game brought to you in part by Vanderyacht Propane, by Snohomish County PUD, by Glass by Lund, Everett Safe and Lock, your Allstate Insurance agent Brian Reed, the law office of Russell and Hill, the Buzz Inn Steakhouse, the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Major League Pizza, and by the Snohomish County DUI Task Force. And we're getting set for the second half to tip off. Glacier Peak with a 12-point lead over Jackson. And we're ready to go. The officials, Mike Zender, Todd Howell, Shane Day, talking with folks, and we're going to be back underway. Pretty nice crowd, Bill. Some pretty good student section. Jackson has a nice student section down to our left underneath our broadcast location.
Jackson always travels very well.
And so they are playing the last chance and who will play next week in the regional tournament. Regional tournament, I know one of the regional games or sites will be Jackson High School. That'll be next weekend. All that can be determined tomorrow at the WIAA headquarters in Renton. Cindy Atzett and her crew will get that all set up for next week. And then who will be the teams heading to the state tournament, which happens in 2 weeks down at the Tacoma Dome. Both teams are out. Shane Day blows the whistle, and off we will go. The second half of action. Jackson, the visiting team, in the black uniforms, moving to our left, down by 12. They start with the basketball. Kevin Hahn at the left wing, above the NWAC logo on the floor. Now to Olsen. Bounce pass goes. Bigovich back to the basket, give it off to Hahn. 13 to shoot now. Hahn kind of caught betwixt and between, and then a double dribble is going to be called. Hahn really gotten everybody. Nobody ever came close to him to pass it off. It wasn't really that hard a defense. He just kind of got befuddled.
Well, he held on to the ball so long he forgot that he had taken a dribble earlier, and then he took it again.
So here is Glacier Peak with the basketball. They have the lead. They have the ball. They have the white uniforms with blue and silver trim, and it's Bobby Martin. Dribble along the left side, blocked out of there by Joe Capone. Picks it off out of midair, give it off to Olsen. Here comes Jackson. Down by 12. A minute into the second half. Capone top of the key to Bigovich. Cross court Hahn. You're going to leave him that wide open. You might as well take a three. He doesn't. But over to the right side, shot will go up from Liddell. That three won't go. And rebound controlled by GP.
And believe it or not, that's Liddell's first shot attempt in the ball game.
No.
Their leading scorer did not take a shot in the first half.
Here's Bobby Martin shoots, won't hit, a three, misses. Rebound, Capone up the floor, and then Liddell knocks it into the stands, into the tunnel area across the way from us. Liddell will throw it in. Lawrence knocked it out of bounds. And here comes Jackson. 28 to shoot. Bounce pass goes. Back to the basket, Capone. Still with the basketball, looking. Down low it goes. Liddell, up fake once, up fake twice. Reverse lay-in, won't go. Battle for the rebound, over the top. Grabbing it is Noah Foreman. Glacier Peak with the ball. Still leading by 12. We've yet to have any points here in the third quarter. As Lawrence calls the play. Gives it to Martin. Backdoor lob over to the right side. Ball's going to be blocked. That's another block there by by Bigovich.
Uh-oh.
And we have an injury here, knee injury
Oh, man.
Christian Liddell, he is laying in pain on the floor underneath the hoop. And he is in,
A lot of bodies flying on that alley-oop, and he just got twisted around. And
he has not unbent his knee. His knee is in a locked position, all bent, and now he is not.
And he's saying, I don't want you to bend it either.
Yeah, so the training staff will be out there. We're going to step aside here with 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Glacier Peak 33, Jackson 21, Fox Sports 1380, FM 95.3. For a good full minute, they finally did straighten out his knee, and it was an ugly kind of a band one way, body goes the other way injury. He's now on the training table in the far corner, but he has gotten off the floor, and so Glacier Peak will throw it in here with 14 to shoot and a 12-point lead. Trey Lawrence out between the circles calling the play. 6 to shoot now, 5 to shoot. Couple of dribbles, and he'll shoot a three. I guess the play was, I'll get down to about 3 seconds, and then I'll bury a three ball. And it worked to perfection, and the lead is 15 points for Glacier Peak.
So it'll be interesting to see how that injury affects Jackson, Tom, because sometimes a player will go out and the other players will just really step up and play well in his absence, and other times it's kind of deflating emotionally.
And now we've got a timeout called here after the injury timeout, and now Glacier Peak is down by 15 points, and Steve Johnson wants to talk about it. Let's keep it right here during this timeout. And Bill, it's starting to not really going to look very good now for the Jackson Timberwolves, especially with Christian Liddell out, maybe for the game.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty obvious that he's not going to be coming back in, and Glacier Peak's defense has just been phenomenal in this game. You know, here we are well into the third quarter, and they've held Jackson to 21 points in the entire ball game. Jackson's just having a difficult time getting open looks at all, and when they get the open looks, they're having trouble putting the ball in the basket, shooting just 33% from the field in the first half. And so they've got to have something come to the fore and somebody get hot, but also they have to shut down Glacier Peak, who've been very comfortable just moving the ball around, taking a lot of time off the shot clock, and then they've hit some key buckets, you know, with under 5 seconds remaining on the clock.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Stop by, visit Greg and Christine Egelstad at the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Glacier Peak with a 15-point lead and the basketball. Braden Corwin gets a screen, goes around it to the right side. Give to Fletcher Douglas, now to Bobby Martin. Martin starts to dribble, closed off there by Hoiby as they work it around the left side. Braden Corwin with it, 14 to shoot. Trey Lawrence at the right wing. He'll dribble out between the circles again. It worked the last time, but they'll give it out. Down to 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Corwin shoots and misses a three ball. Follow-up is going to be grabbed back up by Bobby Martin, and it goes in. The rebound by Noah Foreman. He handed it to Bobby Martin, says, here, Bobby, you shoot it. He did. The lead is 17 points, 38-21.
They don't keep time of possession stats in basketball, but Glacier Peak just hanging on the ball, really working that shot clock before putting something up.
Inbounds for Jackson. The foul had been called on Corwin, his first personal foul. Over the left-hand side. Give it to Bigovic. Now to Hoiby, 19 to shoot. Hoiby starts to dribble, stop, pop from 10, who goes in. Jesse Hoiby, the 6-foot sophomore, puts it up and in, and it's 38-23.
Hoiby really the only one out there that is looking aggressive on the offensive end. I think Jackson's really got to look to be more aggressive.
And now Glacier Peak, again, will work the perimeter here. Give it to Noah Foreman. Foreman goes to Lawrence. Lawrence looking down low, backs away. 14 on the shot clock. Braden Corwin. Entry pass down low, going through, waiting for the defenders to go by. Partially blocked there by Capone. Got it down low to Foreman. Capone was there to block it, but the ball went out of bounds, and it was last touched by Glacier Peak, so it'll be Jackson basketball.
Not only did Capone block the shot, but then he grabbed it and he threw it off the Glacier Peak player's leg. So really a heads-up play.
So here is Jackson with the ball. Kevin Hahn with it to Olsen. Olsen on top of the key. Dumps it down low looking for one of his bigs, and that is Bigovic, who kicks it right back to him, and now back to Bigovic again. In the lane, puts it down to Hahn, reverse lay-in, and one.
Very nicely done. Working the ball, got it underneath, and then Hahn would have been blocked had he tried to go up on that side of the rim. He takes it underneath the hoop, uses his body to block off the defender, puts the ball in, and draws a foul.
And the thing to remember about Jackson, Hahn Jr., Liddell Jr., Olsen Jr., Bigovic Jr., Capone Jr.
Yeah, Hoiby's a sophomore.
Hoiby a sophomore.
They got a lot of guys coming back.
Searles a sophomore. First free throw, only free throw, completing the three-point play is Kevin Hahn. And it's 38-26, the lead is 12. Glacier Peak's led by as much as 17 in the ball game. 3:22 to play in the third quarter. Braden Corwin, right wing. Back again to Lawrence. Dribble drive to the baseline. Lawrence turn, spin, fire. Won't go. Rattles off. No good. Back up and in by Fletcher Douglas. Fletcher Douglas there picks up an offensive rebound, puts himself on the stat sheet, and then puts himself in the scoring column with the bucket. It's 40-26. Hoiby has it. Looked like a travel, but it's going to be stolen away by Corwin anyway. Goes down. Scoop lay-in. No good. Follow up by Martin. Good. Corwin missed the lay-in. Martin's there to pick up the offensive rebound and go in the scoring column, and it's 42-26. Ben Olsen goes down. Dribble drive. Lay-in. Good. He's kind of has to be the spark, I would think, for Jackson.
Yeah, he has to do it. That was a nice play, and after kind of a scoring lull, all of a sudden both teams getting hot.
42-28. Jackson definitely not out of it if they can string together a couple of good defensive possessions and get buckets on the other end. But like Bill mentioned, Glacier Peak takes so much time. Here's a little runner that won't go, and the clear-out foul is going to be called on Trey Lawrence. I think the elbow came up just a little bit to give himself some extra space. Get out of his personal space.
That tends to happen.
2:13 to go, third quarter, 42-28 score. Jackson down by 14 points, but they have the basketball. See what they do in this possession here. Manis comes out and puts a body on Olsen. He just goes around him, puts it up. A little runner won't go. Tapped around, kept alive by Jackson. Into the stands goes Chandler Hendrickson. You got to pay for those seats. So he'll exit the cheap seats and come back down onto the floor. Noah Foreman checks in for Glacier Peak. Trey Lawrence goes to the bench. A minute 59 to play in the third quarter. Steve Johnson looking for an explanation here from Todd Howell, the official. Said, "Don't have time to talk, coach. See you later." And he goes right on by him. I'm busy. Yeah, stop by again. Here's a near steal. It is a steal. Olsen takes it away from Corwin. Picked his pocket and lays it up and in. Corwin is just minding his own business, bringing the ball up, and Ben Olsen really did pick his pocket and took it away from him. And the lead is now 12 at 42-30. Minute 30 to play in the third quarter. Evan Manis lost the handle. Ball went out of bounds. He thought he got fouled. In fact, he's showing Shane Day. He says, look at the mark on my arm. He'll have none of it. Minute 25 to go. Timeout on the floor. Glacier Peak 42, Jackson 30. Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi ductless heat pumps allow you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. Because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Anyway, it was nice to see him kind of jogging, even though he's not going to be coming back into the game.
You know, earlier this week I had a nasty paper cut.
Did you get treatment for it?
I did get treatment for it. I got to put some merthiolate on it, or some mercurochrome, some Bactine, and we're back to action. Here we go. Here's a runner by Olsen. Knocked him over. Nope, offensive foul.
They're calling the same both ways. They're definitely calling the charge instead of the block, and Bobby Martin had excellent position, and that takes a bucket away from Jackson.
42-30, the lead is 12 points.
If you take a jump stop and you shoot a jumper there, it's the same degree of difficulty, and you're not going to get the charge.
Bobby Martin has the top of the key for Glacier Peak. He'll give it off to Douglas. Fletcher Douglas will swing it over the right side. Now it goes to Foreman. Everybody touches the ball in every possession. Martin has it. Foul's going to be called. It's going to be a baseline out of bounds, and I think Jesse Hoiby is going to be called for the reach around, and he's going to be called for his second personal foul, second team foul. Fresh 35 in the shot clock, baseline out of bounds. Manis will throw it in for the Grizzlies. 56 seconds to play in the third quarter. Down low goes to Manis, turn, face fire, and put it in.
That's such a luxury, Tom, to have Evan Manis coming off the bench. He really has some strong moves in the post.
As they work at top of the key, Jackson. Here's a shot, long shot, out of, he wasn't out of bounds, but he was just about out of the area code as Ben Olsen buries a three ball, pulls him to within 11, 44-33. Glacier Peak leading Jackson, 26 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bobby Martin in no hurry, got the ball on his hip, shot clock is dead. 19 to play. Third quarter at Everett Community College. Right side they go. Martin has it. They're just working the right side here, down to 10 seconds to go. Just waiting and waiting and waiting for the time to expire. Down to 6, down to 5. To Manis, give it to Corwin. Long outside three. Won't go off the side of the iron, no good. And we have reached the end of the third quarter of action. Our score, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 33, Glacier Peak Grizzlies 44. Jackson 33. Fox Sports 1380, FM 95.3, and STSPN.com. To Glacier Peak. They have the lead by 11, 44-33. And they start with the basketball here in the fourth quarter. Bobby Martin lost it. Lost the handle, and out of bounds it goes.
And I wouldn't have believed that Christian Liddell is back in the ball game. They have some kind of a tape job on his knee, but, oh, that's really good news.
Yeah, he looked like he had bought the farm down there underneath the basket. Now he's doesn't have the usual hops, I don't think. I think he's kind of working a little laboredly. Right side, Ben Olsen. Olsen has it. He got hammered about half a dozen times by Bobby Martin. Finally, about the fifth time he got the business, he's going to go down, and he's going to be fouled here. Corwin, gets the foul. His third personal foul, fourth team foul.
Jackson 5 for 8 from the field in the third quarter, 62%. Glacier Peak 5 of 12, 41%. Glacier Peak still out rebounding Jackson for the game, 22-10, and that's kind of the story.
Kyle Begovich has it back to the basket, turns and faces and goes around the defender, puts it up and in, and it's 44-35. So what was a 17-point lead is a 9-point lead now for Glacier Peak. Lawrence brings it up for the Grizzlies. They work the perimeter left side. It goes to Martin. Martin to Corwin, top of the key. Guarded there by Olsen. Corwin starts the dribble. 15 to shoot. Right side it goes to Lawrence. Back to Manis again. Manis splits the defense, and a reach-in foul is going to be called on the way down. And they're going to get Jalen Searles with the foul. And for Searles, that's his second personal foul, third team foul.
I think Evan Manis plays basketball the way Marshawn Lynch would play basketball. He just gets that thing and just charges right up the gut.
One of the few players of the game for both football and basketball for us this year. Isaiah Cole joined that fraternity a couple of nights ago, getting 2 sport players of the game. Here's Bobby Martin, top of the key, 16 to shoot. Martin dribbles into, and he travels. Dribbled into some pretty good defense there by Jackson. Searles was there, and so was Olsen. And Martin commits the traveling foul, and it's a turnover.
Glacier Peak kind of letting the door open a little bit, especially if this goes.
It won't, for Ben Olsen misses the 3. That would have been huge, but it did not go. And Glacier Peak will get it. Trey Lawrence at the right wing. To Manis, now to Corwin. Corwin kind of looked at a 3, didn't take it, starts to dribble, give it over to the right side. Lawrence has it, goes in a little closer, foul line jumper on the way, too hard, no good. Kept alive by Douglas, back out for Corwin, 3 ball, short, no good. Who gets it? The speedy one.
Oh,
That's
nice.
going to be Olsen, dives to the floor, saves him from going out of bounds, into his teammate, and Evan Manis returns the favor and steals it. Gives it to Corwin for the layup and good. Lots of effort there by Jackson, but they got burned the other way, and it's back to a Glacier Peak 46-35 lead.
Liddell very brave being out there, but he just does not look like the same guy.
Christian Liddell has it at the right elbow, looking down low to Searles. Searles goes to the baseline. Back out it goes. Out to Chandler Hendrickson. 15 to shoot. Now Olsen. Bounce pass goes. Go over to the right side. Begovich turn, face from the low block, won't go. And we're going to go back the other way as the ball went out of bounds, so it'll be given over to Glacier Peak. The Grizzlies with a 46-35 lead. 5:06 to play.
Begovich kind of pulled the string on that one.
Trey Lawrence into front court on the dribble. Nobody out guarding him, so he's just going to take his time. Give it to Bobby Martin. Martin dribbles into the lane, kicks it back out.
You know, Lawrence is a good three-point shooter. He's passed up a lot of open looks there.
Here's Bobby Martin with it. Closed off there. Lawrence, here he goes. Here's your 3 ball. It won't go for Lawrence. Back up by Martin, won't go. Foul called. Joe Capone, I think they're going to get him for the foul. Bobby Martin will go to the free throw line. The foul is on Capone. The 6'4 junior picks up his first personal foul and the 4th team foul.
8 offensive rebounds for Glacier Peak in the ball game, including that one.
And Martin at the line. It's on the way and no good. Came up short. The Jackson students to our left below us. We're on the 3rd floor up on the track above the playing surface. And Martin at the free throw line. Missed the first one, makes the second one. 47-35. Lead is 12 for Glacier Peak. They've led by as much as 17 points in this ball game. 4.5 to play in regulation time.
Bobby Martin now with 16 points to lead all scorers.
Capone, top of the key. He'll give it off to Olsen, who kind of up fake. Then Olsen, instead of up faking this time, he kind of went around 3 defenders, missed it, but the putback is up and good by Joe Capone. A miss by Olsen. Capone with the rebound, and the lead is 10, 47-37. Low scoring game here at Everett Community College this afternoon. Loser out, winner, last chance going to the regionals next weekend. Down low, Manis. Somebody fell asleep defensively for Jackson, and Manis all by himself for an easy bucket. And the lead is a dozen again. Under 4 minutes to play. Liddell tried to feed down low to Bigovic. Ball went out of bounds. Last touch by Glacier Peak. So Jackson retains possession of the front court with 25 to shoot. Searles. Inbounds it goes to Capone. To Hahn out between the circles. Now they'll feed it to Bigovic. He'll turn, he'll face, he'll put it up from 10, won't go. Hahn tried to keep it alive for the rebound. Kept alive from the seat of his pants by Bobby Martin. And here comes Glacier Peak. Up the floor, Manis waits for the defense, puts it up too hard, no good. Kept alive, it's going to be controlled. Nice job there by Bigovic. Manis was trying to go around Bigovic. He didn't play the ball, he played Manis.
Bigovic extended his body out. That was a great play.
So it's going to be Jackson basketball down by 12. They haven't been able to get it within single digits here. Now again, baseline. Ball went out of bounds. It's going to be just a bad handling job there by Kyle Bigovic. And Jackson will call a timeout with 3 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the game. Our score, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 49, the Jackson Timberwolves 37. Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Dribbles through the defense. That means Corwin is wide open, rattles one out, won't go from 3 ball, but the putback up and good by Fletcher Douglas. Douglas got the offensive rebound and the bucket. Here's Olsen trying to answer on the other end, out of control, off balance, no good. Martin on the rebound, goes down, outlet pass up the floor, going in, Fletcher Douglas. 53-39, that will just about be that. And Glacier Peak will be the second team to join Kamiak to head to the regional round of the state tournament next weekend. Here's Hoiby with a little runner that goes for Jackson. And the Timberwolves will call a timeout here. As they would say, we're going to keep it right here for Steve Johnson. Never stop selling.
Nope. You got these guys, a lot of them coming back next year, and there's still some teaching moments in here. It's going to be tough, but we'll see what his strategy is. Some overplay, some pressing. We'll see if he elects to foul or if he elects not to. It'll be interesting to see, but you're right. You're always coaching to the end.
And Jackson, as we mentioned, their entire starting lineup was juniors, and here they are in the last chance game to go to the regionals. So you'd think that they would be one of the top teams to contend with next year in the Wesco 4A.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi ductless heat pumps allow you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. Because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
The T-Birds, 6:30 pregame, 7:05 face-off, hometown heroes night at Angel of the Winds Arena, just about 8 or 9 blocks from here, as they will play tonight. Daytona 500 tomorrow. Scramble for the basketball. They're going to say kicking the ball will be the infraction, and it'll be kicked by Glacier Peak, and it'll be Jackson basketball.
And Jackson doing some situational substitutions now, having Doney come in on the defensive end, and now Bigovich back in on the offense.
Up the floor, Olsen almost lost a handle on it, comes into front court for final minute 25 of the game. That's Liddell with it, off balance, puts it up with a little runner that won't go. Ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Glacier Peak. Jackson retains possession at the baseline. And Liddell, Christian Liddell, back in. 53-41 the score, minute 20 to go. And Glacier Peak will put this into the win column and advance to the regionals. Outside three ball, no good by Capone. Ball went out of bounds. And Jackson just stays on this end as they will retain possession again. But nothing's falling.
Hana's not a bad shooter, and he's could have had a couple of looks at threes and chose not to take them.
Olsen looked at that three. Probably should have measure twice and shoot once, because he put up about a 2-foot short air ball. He just kind of shook his head. Glacier Peak will throw it in. Up the floor, Lawrence going in. Lawrence as the ball stripped by Hahn, and the foul is going to be called. Foul call. Lawrence will go to the free throw line. I think he was measuring to try to maybe take a slam dunk, but Hahn says, not this afternoon. I don't think so. I'll take the foul. His third personal foul, 5th team foul. 2 free throws coming up here for Trey Lawrence.
One thing about the Glacier Peak team, we noticed this when we did our player of the game last week in that ball game, is they are really a tight group. They really enjoy each other. When we had Bobby Martin as our player of the game, the entire team surrounded him, and we're kind of messing around and having a good time, and a lot of good camaraderie.
Free throw here for Lawrence. No, won't go. The rebound controlled by Jackson. Liddell, Christian Liddell with it. Stop. 3 ball, air ball. As Lawrence grabs the errant shot, they'll try again. Liddell blocked by Manis, and a foul called. Foul's going to be called, though, on Liddell. After the block by Manis, Liddell is picked up for the foul. And that's going to be his 3rd personal foul. And so 44 seconds to go. Again, no post-game show. Bill, let's talk about a player of the game if we were naming one.
Wow, they've had a lot of players that contributed. Both Bobby Martin and Trey Lawrence have played really, really well. So I would probably give it co-MVPs to those two.
As we're going to pop out of here just as soon as this ball game draws to a close. 8 seconds to shoot. Trey Lawrence in no hurry. Now he will shoot a 2-ball that won't go. Capone grabs the rebound. Bigovich, grabs the rebound. Up the floor they go. Long pass down to Hahn. Goes in. One bounce. Laying up. Good. 3 seconds to go. 54-43 will be your final. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies will join the Kamiak Knights, and they will win it by the final score of 54-43. So those two teams, Glacier Peak and Kamiak, will head to the regional round of the state tournament. Lake Stevens and Glacier Peak on the girls' side will head to the regionals as well. So we're going to get out of here. Thanks for being with us here on a Saturday afternoon. For our statistician, Pat Castro, and for Tom Friel, for our producer-engineer, Brandon Hamilton, for Todd Elvig and the crew here from STSPN.com. Again, our final score, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 54, the Jackson Timberwolves 43. Good afternoon, everybody.